Good afternoon, team. My name is Sergeant Maher. I'll be your instructor for this block of training. Today we're going to be focusing on safety around the home, specifically in the garden, and as it relates to tools. Now there's three kinds of tools we're going to cover today. We're going to cover cutting tools, which are made to trim large stock. We're going to cover trimming tools, which are used to cut smaller leaves, individual vines, things like that. Then we're going to cover digging tools. So without any further ado, let's get to our cutting tools. They're usually going to be a little beefier. Good example of a prime cutting tool right here is a chainsaw. Husqvarna, great saw. But let me tell you what can happen with a great saw. Cuts through your leg just as quick as it'll cut through that wood. So to be safe, you're going to want to protect, first of all, your eyeballs. We're in the Air Force. Our eyes are important to us, almost as important as our brains. So make sure that you have something that protects your eyes and your brain. You also want to protect your ears, so when somebody's yelling at you to get your McT done, you can hear them. So make sure that you're covering your ears. Run your helmet so it is directly in front of the saw blade. So if it kicks back, boom, it hits the helmet instead of hitting you in the shoulder. Great safety tip. Now, it's not enough just to protect your face. You're also going to want to protect your legs. This is an example of chainsaw chaps. Chainsaw chaps can be used with a wide variety of implements, but they're specifically designed for chainsaws. What these have is a whole bunch of threads inside the fabric, so those will grab the blade of the chainsaw and stop it to now. You can see my chainsaws have never been nicked because I am a very safety conscious individual, but twice I've seen people run their chainsaw into these chaps and had their life saved by it. One guy didn't get any cut in his skin, the other guy did get only a slight cut in his skin, but without the chainsaw chaps, would cut all the way through. Okay, so that's chainsaw safety. Next, let's talk about trimmers and other implements that are not designed to cut large pieces of material, but smaller pieces of material. Here's an example. This is a hedge trimmer. This can cut off a finger just as fast as anything else. So when our hedge trimmer is not in use, you're going to keep this safety guard in place. A good example of what not to do is you would never want to zip tie the handle closed to make it more convenient to use one-handed, and you wouldn't want to alter the trigger mechanism to reach way out. So things like this is a hard no-go. If you handle a tool like this, you can only have it with the battery off because this is so dangerous. There's a 30% chance it'll kill you. Be careful with modified tools. Don't use them as manufacturer intended. Let's talk about our spinning tools. All right, got a hedge trimmer, one of the most common pieces of equipment you will find. You want to make sure this is in good serviceable condition. You may see these things with little blades. Those are fine, but make sure that you use your safety glasses because these will throw material all over the place. It doesn't have to be a piece of steel or carbide. A little stick lodged in your eyeball and your Air Force career as fast as anything. So inspect it before you use it every time. Make sure the head is in serviceable condition. Make sure that there aren't any loose pieces and knock off any spare material you may see along the way. That will keep you safe. Next, let's talk about digging implements. So right here, I've got an example of a pickaxe, really great for digging through the limestone. Don't know if you have that where you are, but in South Florida, we do, and this thing means business. On the back side, we have a hoe. Another example is a small little axe with a hoe attached to the back. Now, I know what you're thinking, like this is two very separate tools that both have hoes attached to them. It's because hoes are super common. But just because hoes are common does not mean that they're not dangerous. A hoe can mess you up just as quickly as an axe can. Now, what I would recommend is actually wearing soccer style shin guards when you use something like that. Now, I had a friend of mine that worked at a Christmas tree farm growing up all through college. And let me tell you what, he wore shin guards and his shin guards had a lot of use. Spent a lot of time working with hoes and that little bit of protection saved his life. So it doesn't matter if it's got a blade or a hoe, like I'm telling you, man, this guy spent a lot of time messing with hose when he was in college, and if he was not adamant about his protection, he might not be with us today. So, John, shout out to you, and thank you for some of the safety considerations we've talked about today. So from the top, we talked about safety as it relates to cutting implements, like chainsaws. We talked about trimming implements, like string trimmers or hedge trimmers, things like that, with their spinning potential. And then we talked about digging implements like pickaxes and hoes and some of the dangers associated with those. So I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you got some safety information that you can use. And in the long run, I think that we're all going to be a lot healthier and a lot happier if we keep to some of these tips. Have a great day. Bye.